Hey guys, so today what I kind of came to the conclusion that I wanted to talk about was the fact that I have had quite a lot of experience with stress these past couple of weeks, and that's simply because my exams start next week, but as happens in England, exams are quite spaced out. So as I've now learned, talking to friends across the world, most places do exams all in 1 week, but then you have here in England where they're like across like 1 or 2 months. So my first one, I have one exam next week and then one exam the week after, and then it just kind of goes on like that kind of thing. But I am done by pretty much the end of June, so I'm pretty excited about that. But what I actually want to talk about is the fact that stress can affect you in so many different ways, and I think it's really easy to assume that someone is actually, angry with you and you've done something horridly wrong because of the way they're treating you. But it's just so easy, especially when you're stressed, to just react to things and to not really think about what you're doing. And I think it's really interesting, because I think what I thought about is whether that's actually the way that someone actually feels, but normally they're just more civil and present it in a different way. And it is quite interesting, I think, because I see that in a lot of the things that I do, in the sense that the way that I respond to someone isn't actually the way that I've thought it out in my brain to start off with, but it's the way that I've chosen to word it in order to make sure that I don't hurt the other person. But then I guess it does come down to the question of whether you're still being genuine with that, and I think in most cases you are, because you're still showing the sentiments that you feel. You're just doing it in a way that is easier to digest on the other side. And I think that's really important, because obviously if you go through life just saying exactly what you think, and that's not always constructive as well, because I think a lot of the time if you just said your first reaction, then you wouldn't necessarily have taken into account all the complexities of the situation. So it's really important to make sure that if you're stressed, and if you can see someone else is stressed, just to do as much as you can to make it easier for yourself and easier for others. But I think that can be quite hard, because obviously stress can come from being disorganised, and sometimes it isn't always your disorganisation, it can be someone else's disorganisation that can cause stress. But yeah, I think it just comes back to making sure you treat people as complex people. But I think it's quite interesting, because as much as you can't know everyone's life story, sometimes you can empathise more with their situations, but it can be quite hard when you don't know what's bothering someone. And I think I've definitely found it hard sometimes with my parents, because very recently I've kind of found issues that I prefer talking through with my friends more than my parents. But it can be hard when the person you're talking to doesn't actually feel comfortable telling you what's up. But yeah, I think it's just important to make sure that you're kind, make sure you're also kind to yourself, try and be as organised as possible, so then you don't have to worry about so much. Because I think at the moment I'm also finding that even though I've managed to organise some of what I need to do for school, it doesn't mean that I'm necessarily organised for other things that I have committed to. So yeah, just try and make sure that you're kind to yourself, you give yourself time to sometimes I've definitely found that just crying it out can actually really help. You just calms you down, lets all the feels out. But also, if you can, maybe try and write it out, or yeah, as I said, talk to someone about it. Let it out, and then try and take some time to get yourself organised, because it will help in the long run. So, if you're going through exams or just a really stressful period at the moment, I feel you, and you can always talk to me in the comments, or I do actually leave my social media in the description, so if you'd like to message me or whatever, do feel free. So, also this week on Letters from Archery, we have another guest, which is just so great. And this week it's Pat. And Pat runs the NFI Collab channel, which you can check out up there, along with Dave. And that's actually where I started vlogging, which is so cool. So yeah, definitely go check both those things out. Absolutely awesome. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful time, do what you're doing, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.